Today, we're talking about someone whose presence still lingers quietly in the background of Hollywood history, Honor Blackman. And if that name feels familiar, but you can't quite place why, you're not alone. Because her legacy isn't loud. It doesn't chase attention. But once you notice it, you start seeing it everywhere. So let's slow this down for a moment. Because Honor Blackman wasn't just part of iconic moments. She helped shape them. And yet, somehow, her story doesn't get talked about as often as it should. Not in the way it deserves. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's go back. Early days of British cinema and television. A young actress begins building her career step by step, not overnight fame, not instant recognition. Just consistency. Discipline. Craft. She appeared in various roles, slowly gaining attention, quietly proving that she had something different. Something steady. Something strong. But then came the moment that changed everything. Goldfinger. And just like that, the world saw her. Pussy Galore. A name impossible to forget. A character that stood out in a franchise already full of larger-than-life personalities. But here's what made it different. She wasn't just another Bond girl. She didn't exist just to support the hero. She challenged him, matched him, controlled the room in a way that felt rare, especially for that time. There was confidence there. Authority. A presence that didn't need to be explained. And audiences felt that immediately. But here's something most people overlook. She was already in her late 30s when she took on that role. In an industry that often pushes women aside as they age, Honor Blackman stepped into one of the most iconic roles of her career. Not earlier. Not at the beginning. But later. And that changes the story completely. Because it wasn't just about success. It was about timing, patience, and refusing to fade quietly into the background. And she didn't stop there. Before Bond, she had already made waves in television, especially with the Avengers, where she played Cathy Gale. Again, not a typical character. Intelligent, independent, physically capable. A woman who didn't wait to be saved. She was ahead of her time, and maybe that's why her impact feels stronger when you look back now. She wasn't following trends. She was setting a tone that others would later build on. But like many actors of her generation, her career didn't revolve around constant headlines or viral moments. It moved differently, more quietly, more grounded. Theater, television, film, all blended together into a long, steady journey rather than sudden peaks. And maybe that's why her story feels different today. Because when people revisit her work now, it's not just nostalgia. It's realization, a recognition of how much she contributed without demanding the spotlight. Now fast forward to today. You might see clips resurfacing, old scenes shared again, interviews rediscovered, and people reacting like they've just found something hidden in plain sight. Because in a world that constantly moves forward, sometimes it takes a pause to truly see what was always there. Honor Blackman wasn't just part of iconic stories. She helped redefine what strength looked like on screen. Not exaggerated, not forced, just natural, confident, real. And maybe that's why her legacy still holds. Because she was never just a moment. She was a presence. And some presences don't fade.